Hey guys, welcome back to another flashlight review, and we're going to be looking at something pretty unique today. This is the Vastlite Minima Bow, and it's a flashlight with 750 meters of range. And I know there's other flashlights out there that can throw that far, but this one is pretty much the same size as my thumb. I reviewed the original grey model a few months ago, but Vastlite have since released it in a bunch of different colors. So on top of grey, you can get it in black, carbon fiber black, camo green, and a colorful finish as well. So yeah, might be interesting for some of you if you'd like to pair it with custom tritium tubes, glow tubes. And yeah, I guess this is a weird kind of re-review of this light and maybe an update as well on how my grey model is going. I've been using it for just over 2 months now, and yeah, this thing just lives permanently on my keychain. I don't baby it all. I've dropped it a bunch of different times. So yeah, haven't had any issues around the clip coming off. I know that was something I mentioned previously. And long story short, Astrolux actually sent me this by accident, the black model of the Minima Bow, along with their WP5, which I'm going to be reviewing in a separate video. But I thought I'd just see anyway if there were any differences to the grey model, since it's been a couple of months since I've been using that one. Maybe they're using different components, that kind of thing. But yeah, in summary, you know, to save you some time if you've seen that old video before, there are no changes besides the color of the finish. And yeah, if we have a look at the grey version up close, you know, this looks a little bit shinier. But basically, you know, there is a little bit of wearing around the edges of the bezel. I've also dropped it a bunch of times. There are some dents, a little dents in it. Oh, here you go. There's a tiny little dent here. It's almost not visible. Dropped that from about hip height. And yeah, it's just that usual sort of wear that you get on anodized aluminium, especially if you carry it in your pocket with keys. I also carry it with other types of EDC stuff as well on me. So they're all made of metal. They scratch and rattle around with each other. But yeah, there's no scratches to the lens. That's kept very nicely recessed in there. So overall, I mean, considering that I do bang this thing around a bit, it's holding up quite well. So I guess the most unique thing about the Vastlite Minima Bow is that it is the smallest laser-excited phosphor flashlight ever made. And this is a new, well, relatively new technology, essentially, that converts blue laser into visible white light and, yeah, projects a really long-range beam in relation to the size, because normally you could not get a flashlight of this size that will produce a beam anywhere near to 750 meters. You'd be lucky to get even 200 meters out of a light of this size. And yeah, it produces 280 lumens, which might not seem like much, but all that light is focused into a very, very small point. And yeah, this thing fits perfectly in a coin pocket on your keychain, so it's great for EDC just due to its size. And it's a very simple flashlight to use. There's no buttons. You just screw the head in completely and then release, unscrew and screw in. There's just two modes, like a low and a high mode. If you do it quickly as well, you do have a strobe mode in there, and that's pretty much it. So everything you see here on the table is basically what you get with the Vastlite Minima Bow. Thankfully, Vastlite also include a 16340 battery here, 850 milliamp hours, has a charging port on it because there is no onboard charging on the Minima Bow. A couple of spare O-rings here. You get a basic instruction manual. The box itself, as you can see, is just pretty basic. You can see what color it is up the top. So here's a little close-up of the Vastlite Minima Bow, and this is the smallest LEP flashlight in the world currently, and might be one of the smallest flashlights in my collection. And you can see it's 71 millimeters long, 36.5 grams. And I do like how there's a bunch of cutouts here in the head. You can put in tritium vials, probably some glow tubes here on the side, because these are not cut deep enough into the body, probably just due to reduce weight and the thickness of the tube itself. Like I was showing you before, there's no actual switch on this light. It's just a twist on, twist off to remove contact. And there is a friction ring here on the back, which is attached very firmly. You really have to tug at this thing to pull it off. I actually had to use some pliers. I was afraid I was going to actually bend this thing off. And you do have a glow ring here on the back, which is good. It helps you to find that light there in the dark. If we look underneath the head, you can see where the battery makes contact with the driver. There is a chunky sort of spring down the back of the light as well. The Vastlite Minima Bow is also IP68 water resistant. It has 1 meter drop resistance as well. So here's a little peek down the top of the light, and you've got this crenulated steel bezel that helps to protect the lens as a glass lens in front of the aspheric lens, which is used to focus the module in there, whereas on the outside it's pretty much just the aluminium shell. So I ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests with the Vastlite Minima Bow Black, and this is on the 100% or the high mode, and basically you can see it steps down pretty much straight away. So yeah, even at half a minute there, you're on about 10% of output, and you can see continues on, and there's a slight sort of step down before the 3-minute mark as well. I ran a second ceiling bounce test here where I've just reactivated the 100% mode, and you can see the step down, and again reactivating the high mode just before 1.5 minutes, and it steps down a little bit faster the second time round just due to the temperature regulation. But yeah, you get just, I wouldn't say even half a minute on the 100% mode, perhaps 15 to 20 seconds. And that's really required for a light of this size because there's just not enough heat sinking on there. This is another test I ran on the low mode. You can see the light starts off at 100% and just slowly starts to step down. By the 12-minute mark, you're hitting about 80% of total output. Also ran some tests with Multiple Light Master Pro, and I measured 739 meters of range on the high mode, 358 meters on the low mode. So yeah, it's really quite difficult to aim this thing at the sensor when I was testing the range as well. It's just a very small hotspot. But overall, with the ceiling bounce tests and the range test that I've done here, there's no changes to the original grey model. Okay, so let's go through some considerations, and the first one is the narrow beam. It's just not suitable for close range area lighting. So yeah, as a general EDC flashlight, it's probably not the best option unless you have one of those diffuser cups that you can stick on top. But yeah, I think it's perfect for spotting things from a long distance. It's just incredible how far this thing throws, how small it is. It's just something that you can bring along and show your friends, and maybe you can just spot stuff at night, really, really far away. So it's just a fun light to have on you, and you don't even notice it being on your keychain. So that's why I carry it around with me. And yeah, the second consideration is twisty head. Not a big fan of this, and it's better if you're kind of using two hands, but you can sort of one-hand it as well. But yeah, I just wish there was some kind of physical switch there on the back, or even a side switch. And the third consideration is something I mentioned on my last review of the grey model. There's no dedicated lanyard hole. It would have been good if they just kind of drilled something into the back there, but there's an attachment points here, and here. Now you notice on the grey model, I've actually put the key ring on the center point because it's just not enough space there to get in the keychain, so I have to just put it in the center essentially. And this thing gets tugged on a lot, and I have this on my keychain. Sometimes I drop my keys, and there's no issue there in terms of the clip bending or even falling off. You really have to pull hard at this thing for it to come off. So unless you get snagged or something like that, you're going to be fine. So that's my experience of using this light anyway for a couple of months. I was initially quite worried, am I going to lose this light or something? But that friction ring is on pretty tight. The fourth consideration is this USB-C charging case. So you're going to have to use batteries with the built-in USB-C charging port, or just charge the battery separately because there's no inbuilt onboard charging. And the final consideration is, of course, that fast step down. Okay, so this thing does throw really, really far, but not for long. Good news is that you can just, you can keep reactivating that high mode. The head does get a little bit hotter, but I think that Vastlite could have pushed it a bit further in terms of the step down. They could have given us at least 30 seconds of solid 100% and then a sharp step down. But I think maybe they were worried that people would just continue reactivating it over and over. And yeah, with the smaller head on there, you're going to run into some issues, some overheating issues. Even now, if you just continually do it over and over. But yeah, that's one last thing I thought I would mention. So yeah, overall, if you are after a tiny long-range flashlight that you can pocket every day, the Vastlite Minima Bow delivers like nothing else of this size. It's truly unique for what it is. And yeah, it's not ideal for, you know, lighting a larger area up, or walking, or, you know, camping, anything like that. But for a precision spotting and minimalistic carry, EDC carry, you know, it is a top pick in my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you have questions about this light, just comment and I'll get back to you. If you want to get one of these, I've left a link to the Banggood website where you can order one of these in several different colors. And I actually like the camel one the best. It would have been good if they'd accidentally sent me one of those. But yeah, if you liked the video, found it helpful, do me a favor, click the like button, share the video with someone who might be interested. It just helps me to get the video out to more people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews, keep up to date with the latest flashlight news, make sure you subscribe. Vastlite Minima Bow. You can see it sort of hit these trees, that building there to the right. And some of those reflective bits of material as well. See, we're all the way in the back there, these signs just kind of illuminating, reflecting a bit of light back as well, just these signs. It does step down pretty quickly, but yeah, trees to the left. You point it directly in the water, it's pretty intense. It kind of, like the water just absorbs it and diffuses the light out a little bit, so you can see like the seaweed and stuff down in the water. No birds near me, so I can't really spot. Oh, here's one. Oh no, it's a bit of seaweed or something, clump of something there in the water. Look at that. Lovely night tonight here in Melbourne. It's our city skyline down the back here. Vastlite Minima Bow. That is the high beam. Oops. High beam and low. Can't really see much at the back with the low. I'm going to have to pop it onto high, and there's that path all the way down the back which I'm very easily able to see. There's virtually no spill. It's amazing how ridiculously powerful this is, just spotting objects from a distance. I'm going to compare this to my Convoy S8 Plus. Okay, that's on 100%, and if I pop on the Minima Bow, you can see the range is better, but the big difference is that there's no spill. But isn't that incredible? A light of this size outperforming far larger and more powerful flashlights in terms of range. We'll start to step down now. Let's see. I'm still doing alright, still outperforming even after the step down. Vastlite Minima Bow, and this is the high mode. Jeez. It's almost incredible just seeing this thing come out of such a tiny flashlight. And I've had a lot of people, that's a low mode by the way, I've had a lot of people just comment on the video and saying it's fake, you know, I'm making these videos up, I'm bumping the ISO. This is pretty much how it looks like in person. I've adjusted the video, the ISO, so that it looks exactly as I pretty much see it in person. So, I mean, that's how incredible this light is. People are just thinking it's not it's not real. And one of the downsides though is that it does step down very quickly, and at some point it's going to approximate this sort of beam here, this lower beam, which as you can see is not too great unless you're looking at something yeah, maybe 60-70 meters or so. Depends on the atmospheric conditions, but geez, yeah, I have full-size flashlights that can't reach anywhere near this distance. So yeah, this thing just lives on my keychain, and yeah, I use it from time to time. Not on anything particularly useful or specific, but just to spot stuff. Sometimes you can spot animals, things like that. Just sort of scout ahead down like a dark path. And as you can see, there's no flood at all, so it's just beam. I'll go for a walk and show you.